We're on the road with Mickey, we're gonna have some fun. Regardless of the rain or sun, our trip has just begun. So buckle up, let's go, we're about to start the show. And maybe if you like us, you'll see where else we'll go.
Hey everyone, I'm Mike, and she's Sophie.
And Brenda is away on a cruise right now, so he's Grogu.
Yep, and Brenda will be back next week to talk about that cruise.
For
But
150th episode.
yeah, but this is On the Road with Mickey. We're on the road with Mickey, and this is episode 149 for December 12th, 2022. And today, Sophie and I are talking about our Walt Disney World trip recap.
Mm-hmm.
So, we hope you all enjoy. We had a great time, didn't we, Sophie?
Yes, we did.
But more on that in just a little bit. First up, we have some cheddar from the big cheese, and Sophie has got the cheddar to beat all cheddar.
Yup, I'm very excited about this. We have just received a we've just received news that the season 2 of the Star Wars series The Bad Batch will be premiering on January 4th, 2023. My dad and I have been enthralled with The Bad Batch for season 1, so the fact that it's finally getting a season 2,
Yeah,
yay!
big time deal. And also, and there's a trailer out for it. So go look it up on YouTube. It's really
Mhm.
cool. And also, The Mandalorian season 3 will be streaming in 2023. I don't know the exact date, but there's a trailer for it as well. So maybe a couple minutes to do some Star Wars geek out, and enjoy and take a look at those trailers cuz they look really good. Grogu, I think, has already been searching for it.
Yes, he has.
He likes to see when he's going to be on television.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Gotta make sure he looks good in all the
Yeah,
shots.
exactly. So, not a whole lot of cheddar today, but that's what we got. And so, we are going to dive right in and talk about Mike and Sophie's Walt Disney World recap. So, we're breaking it down for our show notes. We broke it down into the resorts we saw, the Very Merry Christmas Party, what we thought of that, Epcot Day, family and friends that we saw, and just kind of go through. That's just to kind of organize our minds. So, and
Mhm.
Sophie, if there's something that I don't have on the list there, feel free to add it and talk about it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So first off, we arrived on December 1st,
Mhm.
and we stayed at Port Orleans Riverside, and our first night we met up with friends, but we went to Port Orleans French Quarter. And what did we have, Sophie?
We had beignets. The first time we've ever had Disney World beignets. We've had Disneyland beignets, but Disney World beignets we'd never had before. And oh my goodness, they were so yummy.
Yeah, we actually had beignets before, but it was years ago, like 12 years ago, that we had beignets
Hmm,
when you were just a child.
yeah.
So, so we had them, but it had been a long time. So they were good. But we also, I'm telling you guys, we were hungry and it was dinner time, and we ordered a large half pepperoni, half cheese pizza. The thing was like 18 to 20 inches circumference.
Mhm.
Um, and um, it was so good. And we bought that whole pizza was like maybe $19 for 8 slices, and we chowed on that pizza, and it was good. It was enough for all of us. So it was a really good pizza. So if you're ever looking for some food, maybe consider the French Quarter and maybe order yourself a whole pizza instead of just getting a slice, if you got a big
Yeah.
party. So
Mhm.
worth just a tip, but it was good pizza. So,
All right. And then
and
after that, that was just the first night that we were there. The second day
Oh
slash
yeah.
night,
Wait a
yeah,
minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Talk
what?
about the room.
Oh yeah, Riverside Room. We were staying in Oak Manor, that was the name of the building where we were in, and the room we got was actually a princess themed room. So
Mm-hmm.
there's the standard room and then there's the princess themed room. And because it's Port Orleans, it's New Orleans, it's the Bayou, the room was themed around Tiana with little hints and nods to the rest of the princesses there, like Rapunzel, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Belle, Ariel. Those were the no, Jasmine,
Jasmine. Mm-hmm.
Jasmine, all of them, they were all there. There were nods to them throughout, but the room was mainly Princess Tiana themed. And it was so, so, so cool
It
because the
was.
headboards above the beds, they lit up and it looked like a scene from the bayou with the fireflies making fireworks and everything. It was so, so cool.
It was really cool. And like Sophie said, the nods to the other princesses, the water faucets, the faucet where the water comes out looked like Genie's lamp
Mm-hmm.
from Aladdin. So it was just really neat. The touches were really cool, and it was a really nice, comfortable room. So it only sleeps four, but it was perfect for us. It was Sophie and my wife Cindy and my sister Robin and myself, and so it was a good, comfortable room, and it handled everything we needed to do.
Yep.
So it was good. It was a nice room. It was a real
Mm-hmm.
good room. And Riverside, this is the first time we had stayed there. And Riverside is so peaceful. It's so relaxing, you know? So it was a good first visit for Riverside for us.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. It was very nice there. And I especially like, sorry, I'm trying to gather my thoughts. I really liked the outside of the room as well. The entire aesthetic was that of an
Mhm.
antebellum South manor. We were on the second floor
Mhm.
and we were facing the outside of the rooms. It was over by the parking lot, but all it took was a quick walk and we could be on the inside court of the rooms. And we actually found a fountain there. And then the last 2 days, or the last day that we were there, they were setting up for a wedding.
Yeah.
So we got to see that fountain all decorated. There were chairs lined up. It was very, very pretty.
Yeah. That would be a cool place to get married. It was not
Hmm.
something I would have thought of as a location for a Disney wedding, but it was really neat.
Well,
So,
actually, I think it works quite well because I've seen a lot of um, wedding venues in the resorts, so to speak. Like when we were staying at the yacht club for my 21st birthday, I looked over and saw a gazebo that was right outside our room, and I was like, that would be a very nice place for a wedding.
mhm.
I've seen tons of people getting married at the resorts, and I think that that fountain at Riverside is a perfect place for it.
Yeah. So anyway, that's Riverside.
Hmm.
Um, like Sophie was about to say, the next morning we were going to the Christmas party in the evening, so we had the whole morning, and something really special happened before we got going, didn't it, Sophie?
Yes, it did.
So tell us about that.
All right, so to start off, we went and had breakfast at the Riverside food court, which I believe is called the Milling Company.
Yeah, the
That's where it
Riverside Mill
was.
Factory or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Um, and we were all sitting at a table for four, but there was a second table for two that was just off to the side that we planned on making use of. And my Aunt Robin was facing away from the door, so she didn't see it when they came in. But my cousin Stephanie, her husband Shane, and their two kids, Lindsay and Mackenzie, sweet, sweet girls, we had all arranged a surprise to surprise my Aunt Robin with them coming to Disney because she didn't think they were coming.
Right.
And so when they came in and Lindsay and Mackenzie were like, "Who's that?" Because they didn't know Nani was coming either. That's what they call my Aunt Robin. They were like, "Who's that?" And Shane and Stephanie were like, "Go ahead, go hug her." And so they did. And Lindsay was like, "Hi, Nani." And Aunt Robin said, and I'm not going to say what she actually said because she was so excited. She was like, "Are you kidding me?" She was so excited. And of course, she used a few adult words in there, but she stopped herself because these are kids. She's good like that. Still, it was so funny. I was laughing so hard, and we all were. And she was just so, so happy. And they joined
Yeah.
us for the rest of the trip.
Yeah, they were there. They had gotten there the Monday before.
Mm-hmm.
So they had already been doing the parks. But then once we were all together, we had arranged our park days to be the same. And it was really cool. And we were able to hang out with them, and they were able to do the candlelight processional with us. We'll get into that later. And we were able to eat together, and it was just really a great time. And it was all unexpected. Robin had no idea that they were going to be there. Of course, I knew because I helped them plan the trip, and it was just perfect. It was the kids didn't know they were going to Disney till they got there. They didn't know Nani was going to be there until she was, and it was just perfect. And the kids were just glued to their Nani. It was so precious. So
Mm-hmm.
so that was one of the highlights, bar none, of our trip was the surprise of Robin with her grandkids and her daughter. So really neat, really neat. But anyway, after that surprise was done, we had all day, and what we had decided to do, Cindy and Stephanie had wanted to go check out the gingerbread displays. So
Mm-hmm.
we went to Animal Kingdom Lodge and saw the 6 foot baby giraffe display in gingerbread. And we also saw the baby zebra in gingerbread.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went over to the beach club and the we saw the carousel that circles around that's made out of gingerbread. And then we went over next door to the yacht club and the we saw the Christmas village with the train set up that was at the yacht club. That was really cool. And
Yeah.
then last we ended up at the Grand Floridian Resort and Spa where we saw the OG, we saw the gingerbread house, and we bought some treats there and we took pictures of it and we saw all the decor in each of the resorts. It was really nice. That was a great time, wasn't it, Sophie?
It was. It really was. I loved that carousel. That one was, bar none, the most amazing gingerbread design I've ever seen. And I, for one, am head over heels for the gingerbread mansion and sorry, in the Grand Floridian. I love that one so much, but the carousel is just so much better. And I had never seen it before.
Yeah, that was so cool.
I
That
know.
was so cool. And my favorite part was actually, of course, the Christmas village with the train going around, which I thought was really neat as well. So
Mhm.
there's so much stuff for everyone. And I also understand there is a gingerbread of the beach of the boardwalk in
Yeah.
over at the boardwalk, but we didn't see that one. We didn't make it over there.
Yeah.
So that was the one we'll save for next time, right?
Mhm.
So, and then after we were done at the Grand Floridian, that's when we went to the parks. We took the boat. Okay, just FYI, some bits of knowledge here to impart. Lodging at Animal Kingdom Lodge, it was so busy with guests that they were limiting who could park there. So we were not able to drive and park at Animal Kingdom Lodge. So we ended up parking at Disney Springs and taking bus from Disney Springs to Animal Kingdom and then back, and then going to Beach Club and back and Yacht Club and and so forth. Um, but then at the end we parked at the TTC
Mhm.
for the Magic Kingdom, okay, the Transportation and Ticket Center. We took the monorail over to the Grand Floridian, but when we were getting off the monorail and to go look at the gingerbread at the Grand Floridian, we saw that the lines to get on the monorail to go to the park for the Christmas party were extremely long. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
like
Ridiculously long.
insanely long. So
Mhm.
what we did is we walked through the resort after we were done and we went to the boat dock. And I'm telling you right now, little tip, if you're going to be there during Christmas and you're going to go see the Grand Floridian Gingerbread House, take the boat to the Magic Kingdom if you're going to the party because it was, I mean, we probably still would have been waiting for the party by the time we got to the Magic Kingdom. It was
Oh
that
yeah.
long. It was a long wait for the monorail. So just a little tidbit, take the boat. And it was a great ride. It was just a nice, relaxing ride over. So no
Mhm.
problem at all. So just FYI.
Yep.
So we went to the Magic Kingdom and we went to the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party.
And we each got an ornament to commemorate us being there. It's a snowflake. It says 2022 on it, and I
Hmm.
believe it's actually plated in gold for the 50th anniversary.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's true gold, but yeah, I think it is a
Oh,
gold color. So
oh yeah, I doubt that it's true gold, but I'm just saying.
yeah, I think you're right though, Sophie. I
Mhm.
think you are. Um, and so that was really neat. And of course, the key to the party is the parades and the fireworks, but also the cookies and the drinks.
Mhm.
And so depending on what station you're at, you might get a sugar cookie with icing, or you might get a gingerbread cookie with icing, or you might get a chocolate chip cookie, or you might get a snickerdoodle. I
Yeah.
think those are the four options. But you also have different drinks. So we had apple cider, which was cold, so it was like just drinking apple juice, I thought. Um,
Yeah.
but we also had hot chocolate
Mm.
at Cosmic Rays.
That was so
That was some
yummy.
good hot chocolate.
And
Um,
we got different cookies with them as well.
yeah, yeah, and it was really good. So we didn't go to all the cookie stations.
No.
We kind of, I kind of got worn out because of
Yeah.
all that we had done during the day.
Mhm.
So we did not see all of the party. And you know
No.
what? That's okay. We did not, we didn't see the parade and we didn't see the fireworks, but that gives us something to look forward to for next time.
Yeah. Because thing of it is I don't think we realized exactly how much we were going to be doing on the second.
Yeah.
I think we thought we could all just pile into the car and then drive from resort to resort and it would be fine. But that's actually not the case. We
Yeah.
tried to drive to Animal Kingdom from Riverside, that's where we were, and they said you can't come into the resort without a reservation. And now that we look back on it, the reason why is probably because of the gingerbread exhibit. That's what I was thinking of. And people would be just taking up all the spaces in the parking lot trying to see it. And I think
Hmm.
that's what they thought. So they were like, no, this parking lot has to be reserved for our guests. So
Yeah.
we have to turn cars away unless they have a reservation. So we went
Right.
back and we took the bus.
Yep. And that's what we were saying earlier, but
Yeah,
it worked out, but
yeah,
it did add some time to it.
it
So
did. A
it
lot of
made
transit time
it
in it,
made a lot of transportation. Yeah.
and it was a little bit. definitely wore us out.
Yeah. But, we also, if we hadn't done that, we wouldn't have gone to Disney Springs.
You're right. And I wouldn't have gotten my Coca-Cola shirt. I'll show you
That's
guys
right.
that next week.
And we wouldn't have eaten at Cook's of Dublin either.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, there were benefits. We made it. We made the best of it, and it worked out. In the end,
Yep.
it worked out. So we got back to a resort, and that took us to the night of December 2nd and into December 3rd. And December 3rd, I woke up at 6:55 a.m. and I went online to the app, and I was able to get us a boarding zone time for Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. And we had some hiccups because we were really close up to our reservation time for our candlelight processional dining package at Garden Grill. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, Cindy and Sophie did not ride, but they insisted that I ride.
Mm-hmm. Because you were the one that was most excited about it.
And well, I think Aunt Robin was most excited too. But in the end, the people that rode were Randy and Jagan,
Mm-hmm.
and myself and Shane, and Robin and Lindsay. That's for the 6 party that we had. We had it originally for 8, but in the end, we all rode it, and I cannot wait until I get to show Sophie and Cindy how awesome that roller coaster is, because it is not just a roller coaster.
No?
It's like it's got a story, and it's immersive in some ways, like Rise of the Resistance is immersive.
Hmm.
So
I see.
so
Well,
the whole premise is that someone steals one of the jump points and converts it to where it takes them back to the beginning of time to try and wipe out the human race.
oh.
And um, Rocket customizes the shuttle vehicles so that they can be joined together so that they can chase after the monster guy, the alien who's trying to do all this, so that they can perhaps take him out and be able to reverse what he's trying to do. And so we're on the shuttle vehicles, and that's what leads us into the exciting ride to the beginning of the Earth. And it's a very cool roller coaster. I will tell you that there were um, reports earlier about people getting sick after riding the ride, and that was a concern. Um, I did not get sick, and none of the rest of our party got sick. But I will say that while I was riding it, my stomach was getting a little queasy. So take that just as a tip. It didn't affect me to the point that I was sick or anything like that, and I was fine afterwards. But it was in the back of my mind, oh no, am I going to be sick after we get off? And that did not happen. But it was an awesome ride. Oh my gosh, it was so cool.
I'm
So,
glad you liked it.
so I am glad I liked it, and I'm glad I rode it. And I wish you guys had been able to ride it too. So, but anyway, after we rode that, we also did earlier in the day, we did Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, and that was really cool, and I still like that. And we did some other things at Epcot as well. We did Spaceship Earth and things like that. Um, so there was it was a good day at Epcot, but the biggest thing was that we had dinner at the Garden Grill,
Yep.
and the food. Oh my gosh, Sophie, talk about the food.
Oh, thank you. That food was the best food I had had in a very, very long time, and not only because I was absolutely starving.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love the Garden Girl food so much. The vegetables, and I'm not usually a vegetable girl, but I love Garden Girl vegetables. They're fresh. Um, Obviously, everyone knows that they are grown right there in the greenhouses beneath in the Living with the Land ride. It's amazing. Oh my gosh, I could talk about it for hours. We had the two meats that we had were a barbecue chicken and chimichurri steak. That steak was so yummy. Mm, mm, mm.
And that barbecue chicken, that was the first time I ever had barbecue chicken at the Garden Grill, and it
Mm-hmm.
was good. Oh
Yep.
my, it was so good.
I enjoyed the taste of it. The only problem I found with it was that they cooked it with the bone in, which,
Adds
okay, fair
flavor.
enough. Yeah, but it was so easy to cut through it as if it were boneless that I ended up always biting down on a piece of bone, and they were very sharp and it was kind of hard to eat. So I was constantly like taking it out. And so at that point, after I finished my piece of chicken, I was like, I'm just going to go to the steak because I know that doesn't have bones in it.
Yeah. And also, for the sides, like
Mm-hmm.
Sophie was saying, they had a like a corn succotash
Yep.
with lima beans and peppers, I think, red peppers.
Mm-hmm.
And they also had green beans. And I think they had garlic in the green beans. And they had mashed potatoes. They had mac and cheese, but they also had a cornbread stuffing that was so good. And of course, the usual, at the beginning, we had a really nice salad and we had bread and butter and everything like that. So it was really good. And the dessert was the berry crumble or something like that. Was that what he called it? Berry shortcake?
Yeah, it was a
Berry
mix.
shortcake.
It was a berry shortcake, and basically it was vanilla shortcake with whipped cream and berry compote on top. That is so
It was
ridiculously
really
good.
good. It was really good.
Mm, mm, mm.
And since we were celebrating Lindsay's birthday this trip also, because her birthday was the day we went to the Christmas party on the 2nd,
Mm.
and she turned 7. So we were celebrating her birthday. So we got the dessert that we get with the meal, and she got a chocolate mousse with a candle. So we sang happy birthday to her. And did she get something else?
Uh,
Oh, yeah,
yeah, they served cookies.
he served, in addition to the berry compote, berry shortcake. Um, they had sugar cookies, and so there were like 3 desserts that she got to eat that on that dinner. It was really good, and
Yeah,
those cookies were good too.
yeah. To me, I tasted a hint of lemon in the cookies, but not everyone else did, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. So anyway, that was our dinner.
Mm-hmm.
It was done in time so we could go to the candlelight processional for the 8:30 show. And we had a long line. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
yeah.
We were to get in line for the preferred seating because of the dinner package. We had preferred seating. So
Mm-hmm.
to get in that line, we had to go all the way around heading towards France. And we were right outside of Morocco where the
We
end of the line
we
was.
were in Morocco.
Yeah. And and I mean, we passed thousands of people and we're like, how are they
How
going
on
to seat everybody?
Yeah, that was what my dad and I were both worried about. I was like,
How
"Are
is
we
this going to
sure?"
happen? Yeah.
It was
But
very, very nerve-wracking. I was very worried about it.
yeah, but they guarantee
Mhm.
though that if you are having a dining package, which we did, we got our little stickers that we could use for our seating, and they guarantee you'll get a seat, and we certainly did. And I
Yes.
mean, once it started moving, that amphitheater holds a lot more people than I thought it did, you
Yeah.
know? And
Uh-huh.
so every one of them got seated, and I think even the people in the standby line, I think a lot of them got seated too. So
It is deceptively
it was
big, that
deceptively
theater.
big. Yeah.
Hmm.
But it was a phenomenal show. It was the first time we had ever seen it. A lot of firsts on this trip for us, right, Sophie?
Oh, yeah.
First
Yeah.
time at Riverside, first time at the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, and first time seeing Candlelight Processional.
And first
And
time actually getting inside the line queue of Cosmic Rewind.
first time at, yeah,
And for you, first time riding it.
yeah. So there were a lot of firsts. First time seeing all of those different displays other than the Grand Floridian. We hadn't seen the other ones.
Yeah.
So a lot of firsts. And that's what made this a really cool trip. But that to me, the highlight of the trip for me was the candlelight processional.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Well,
Absolutely.
correction. The
Mm.
highlight of the trip was seeing my sister and her youngest and her family being able to see each other and to celebrate each other. That was a huge highlight. But the highlight of the Disney part was, to me, was the candlelight processional, bar none. It was absolutely incredible. And I am so glad that we got to see it.
Yeah, I am too. I really am. That was like the one thing I needed to have happen for this trip, and I'm glad that it did, so I could go home satisfied.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Hmm.
but in addition to all that, and that show, it was 8:30. It started a little later, maybe like 8:35 or 8:40. That show is about 40 minutes long.
Hmm.
So
Oh,
if
and
you
we didn't
haven't
even,
seen it,
and we only discussed the narrator like in episodes before we actually went. The narrator was Whoopi Goldberg, for those
and
of you
she did
who
a really
didn't
good
know.
job.
She did. She was a great narrator, and it was very nice to see because at one point, uh, they were talking about the three kings from the
Hmm.
East, and obviously between each narration, there's a Christmas Carol song, and so they did. I don't quite know what song it is, but it sounded like a custom rendition of We Three Kings,
I think
and you
that's what
could
it was.
just see Whoopi. She was up there jamming right along to them as they were singing, and it was so, so cool.
Yeah. So where Whoopi Goldberg was standing to narrate, in
Hmm.
front of her was the orchestra. Behind her, directly behind her, was the Voices of Liberty, and they had on green robes,
They were a
and
living
they
Christmas
they were
tree.
a living Christmas tree. And the processional, we didn't know this until after, but the processional of chorus singers
Hmm.
was made up of cast members, and they actually processed in from Epcot down to the stage where they stood to the left and right of Whoopi Goldberg and the Voices of Liberty. So they were accompanying that, and it was really neat. And she told everyone there, she's like, "Look, these people have volunteered their time, and they're cast members that love this show so much that they put in the effort to practice and everything. And so you probably will see them at some point and not know that they were in the candlelight processional,
Hmm.
so it was really neat. But like Sophie was saying, after each bit of scripture, and she was reading scripture, when she finished a scripture verse, then the orchestra would start in with like the lead off to the whatever that song would be,
Yeah.
and then the choral groups and the Voices of Liberty would start singing the song, and it was so good. Oh my gosh.
It was very good, and you could tell they all loved doing it. Not
Yeah.
the girl on top of the living Christmas tree, I don't know their names, but she was on top of the Christmas tree. She was the very pinnacle. She had such a beautiful voice. And then
Hmm.
there was a man, he was on the bottom row of the Christmas tree, and he was just dancing right along with
I
Whoopi.
know.
He was so into it.
He was really into the music, and the songs were really good.
Oh yeah, they
Uh,
all have such
really, really good.
beautiful voices.
Yeah. So totally, if you get the opportunity, folks, to go one year and see the Candlelight Processional. If you haven't seen it, there's been millions of people that have, and this was our first time, so we're still in awe of what we saw. But if you get the opportunity to go see it, go see it. It's worth to go see it. So, um, I think that concludes the Epcot part. And then the last thing we wanted to talk about was our meetups. We had, of course, my sister Robin, Sophie's Aunt Robin was there. And
Mm-hmm.
we saw, of course, Steph and Shane and the kids. And we saw Sheila and Randy and Jagan. And that was great because we were able to exchange gifts and we were able to celebrate Jagan's birthday that had been the week before. But we also saw our friends Chris and Chrissy from Billy's Closet of Magic, right?
Yeah.
And we rode
Uh-huh.
Living with the Land with them after we finished our dinner. And that
Yes,
was really it was fun. And
it
Sophie,
was.
tell us
And
what
they,
Chris
mhm.
did.
Yeah, so everyone who knows Billy's of Closet of Magic here knows that their main goal is to put smiles on people's faces, and the way they do that more often than not is by giving them little Disney gifts. Well, not little. Some of these gifts are actually quite expensive, and so that is why they're just so amazing in what they do. Nobody else does it, but it's just what they do is amazing. And so they actually got my dad a little something for Christmas. As everyone knows, I have Grogu. Well, I am Groot.
I am Groot.
And he was from
Guardians of
he
the Galaxy.
now he was from Chris to my dad for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of this, uh one of Mackenzie, she was looking at this little shoulder buddy that Lindsay got, Tuk Tuk. Tuk Tuk is what Lindsay got, and Mackenzie was like, I want one like Sissy's, because that's what she calls Lindsay, because Lindsay's her older sister. And she was like, I want one like Sissy, and I want a dragon. And Chris, he heard what she said. He pulled out a little Figment shoulder buddy from his bag and was like, oh, you mean like this dragon? And just the look on her face, oh my
Oh my
gosh,
gosh.
it
It
was
was
just
priceless.
it was so heartwarming. And
Yeah.
after she got it, my mom and him were talking, and my mom was like, you know, you just made her entire night with that. And he's like, I know. That's why I do the things I do. And it's just so sweet. And so we all, and the only way that we can really thank them for what they do is taking their kindness and paying it forward. And
Yeah.
it's just, I love you guys. You guys are amazing. Chris, Chrissy, Billy, you guys are awesome.
You guys rock.
TheBond.com.
Yes.
Yes.
So you can find them on Facebook. Search for Billy's Closet of Magic. They are an awesome group. They share the Disney magic throughout. They have trivia. They talk. They go live. They do so much. And Chris and Chrissy, thank you so much for including us in your Christmas gifts this year because we weren't expecting it, and it was really special. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
So okay, well that kind of wraps up our feature topic, right, Soph?
Yep, I would say so.
Okay, well that takes us to this day in Disney history for December 12th. So Sophie, take it away.
All right, and this piece of history is one that I picked out thanks to my good friend Jagan, who was on the trip with us. While we were while we were traveling down to Florida, she texted the group chat that me and our parents are in and was like, look at this new cartoon that Disney just released, and it's an Oswald the Lucky Rabbit cartoon. It's the first one since the last time Oswald was used. I can't really be sure when that was, but I know it was before Mickey, or somewhere before Mickey, somewhere around the time of Mickey's birth. And so that's why I'm choosing this one. And this takes place all the way back in 1927. Disney's Oswald the Lucky Rabbit short, Empty Socks, is released. The silent black and white cartoon featuring Oswald as Santa is the first ever Disney Christmas-themed short. Directed by Walt Disney himself, the animation credits include Ub Iwerks, Roland Hamilton, and Hugh Harmon.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Way to go. Way to
Yep.
go. Good history. Thank you, Sophie.
Thank you.
So, all right. Well, that takes us to our Stump the Soph. I think this is not a major player character, Sophie. So that's a clue without even giving a clue.
A major player character?
This is not like the lead of a movie or something like that.
Ah.
Okay, this is totally a secondary or supplemental type character. But this character played a huge role, okay, for the brief moment that they were in it. So let's see if you could guess this character. This character has teeth like steel.
Teeth like steel. Okay.
This character uses their tail as a measuring tool.
Hang on.
It's coming to you, isn't it?
It's coming. I'm just. It's that beaver from Lady and the Tramp.
It is the beaver from Lady and the Tramp.
Yes! I don't know their name, and I don't think they have one.
They don't. It's the beaver. The third clue was going to be log carrier, because remember how they did how Tramp suggested how he could use the muzzle as a log carrier.
All he had to do was get it off of Lady's poor head.
Yeah, and he did.
Yes, he
with
did.
Teeth like steel.
Mm-hmm.
So it is the beaver from Lady and the Tramp. So I thought you would get it, but it's not when you think of Lady and the Tramp. So
no, it's not. But I just remembered this visual when you said tail like a ruler. I was like, there is a scene where something uses its tail like a ruler. I've seen it before, but what is it?
Yeah.
And then I was like, Tigger? No, his tail. And then I started to think about like the way the tail is animated. Like most tails are either too short or they are too flimsy on the characters. And I was like, wait a minute, beaver. He uses that tail as a seat too. Okay, so that's how I got it.
There you go. Good job, Sophie. Good job. Way to deduce who it is.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that takes us to a little bit of Walt. And since Brenda's going to join us next week, I'm going to give the quote today. And this is a short but sweet quote. And basically, Walt Disney said, "The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing." And that is that, you know?
Yes.
The more you talk about something, the less likely you're going to actually start putting it into operation. So sometimes you just got to get up and start doing it. And that's the way it is. So that is our Walt Disney quote. Next week, like Sophie mentioned earlier, next week is our 150th episode of On the Road with Mickey. We are so excited, and we're so grateful for everyone that has joined us on our journey. And so we're excited about it. We're not going to do a huge celebration. We might celebrate a little bit, but we're going to be most excited because Brenda will be back with us next week. And we are going to be talking about Brenda's Walt Disney World and Disney Wish recap. We want to hear all about the cruise ship. We want to hear all about her time. And we just want to celebrate her being able to have that trip. So That's our feature topic next week. But until then, I'm Mike. She's Sophie. He's Grogu. And that's Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. And we will see you on the road. Have a great week.
Yep.
And we will
See you on the road. Bye, everyone.